I believe we're in. Hey everyone. Welcome to That Pedal Show. Viewers, comments and questions. Dan here.
Nick here, hello.
Hope you're all fabulous and groovy. Hope you had a great weekend. We've had a glorious weekend of weather here. As long as you're not a farmer, it's been amazing.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah.
I took a 24-hour holiday yesterday. Borrowed a camper van off a friend and tried it out for the first time. And it was the worst 24 hours of weather in the last 10 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but it was at least the worst 24 hours of weather.
A little spitting rain.
A little bit of rain, yeah. It was good though. It was good. Hello everyone. Happy Monday to you.
It's Happy Monday.
And yeah, it was my lucky Monday. And you know how sometimes I often sing Get On the Groovy Train when we talk about Happy Monday?
Yes.
It was the farm. Wasn't Happy Mondays at all.
Oh.
I know. Just shows. We can always keep learning.
Okay.
Anyway, so BV, thank you very much for helping us out as always. We greatly appreciate it. Hello to Johnny T and PG Nash. And to G Barge, G, how are you? And Andrew Jones and Plexico. Simon V is on. How are you, buddy? Who else have we got? Tomothy, Scott Curry, Todd Roy, Andrew R. Hey, Andrew. Jason Hattrick is on. Adron Allen is on.
Have you ever got a hat trick in anything in sports?
Probably, but not since being a child.
Right.
Yeah.
I got 3 strikes once in bowling.
Did you?
Yep. And the following ball was 1. So it gave me like 7 points.
Simon V says, when and where is your gig in Lyme Regis, Mick? It's on Wednesday the 19th, which is the day after tomorrow in Lyme Regis in Dorset, if you're there.
Oh, wow.
Spitfires at 6 p.m. and Average Band at 7:30. Band in the Boathouse.
Average Band? Did you actually call yourself the Average Band?
No, but that's what's happening. Spitfire's like unbelievably good.
Right.
Trio playing rock and pop music.
What's the name of the band?
We're going to be called the Still Standing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because there used to be 7 of us.
Oh.
And nobody's dead yet. But 4 of them are no longer as part of this. So we're down to 3. We were 5, now we're 3.
Okay.
They're still standing.
That's great.
Yeah,
I
and we
like
do play standing. We're not seated. That's another 10 years. Hello, Experimental Chris.
Oh, very good.
And the Boathouse, by the way, Band in the Boathouse, it's the lifeboat station because it's Lifeboat Week. That's what's in aid of. About the 8th charity gig I've done this year. Yeah, so if you're around Dorset, Lyme Regis on Wednesday night, come down. Band in the Boathouse from 7:30, Spitfires at 6. Spitfires, like real Spitfires. V12 Merlins.
Wow.
Overhead.
Amazing.
Music Therapy Laz is on. Chris Little is on.
Scott Gale is on. James Blessed. Martin Westacott. Beautiful.
Alex Basaraba is on. Basaraba. Tian Williams is on. Chris Parchow is on. Byron Krause's Big Dog. Chris Lawler. Lots of Chris's. All the Chris's.
Yes.
May as well be Crazy Tube Circus at this. If you work at Crazy Tube Circus, you have to be called Chris. That's the rule.
Yeah. And be a legend.
Yeah.
Soul is the goal. Very nice. Rachel Arbish.
Rachel, how are you? You messaged earlier to say what time is the live stream because you always miss it and you're joining us tonight. So I'm really glad you can join us. Hello.
Don Farrell Zappa says, look at these beautiful pedal-loving people. Yes, lots of people on tonight. It's lovely. Lovely to see all of you.
One of the other 7, Steve, is on tonight. Steve Atkins.
Hello, Steve.
Yeah, I think that's you, Steve Atkins. He's usually on his Electricity Music, but I think he might be on his Steve Atkins Photos. And if you're not Steve, that's in the Still Standing and Above and Beyond and Electricity, let us know. Douglas Herman is on, and lots of lovely friends. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yes.
I think we'll probably turn the super chai off. We have a goodly number. And it means Dan and I can get to some sort of meat feast.
Yeah.
At a meat feastable hour. Yeah. So we think the weather's finally breaking, just to finish off the weather chat.
It's a little bit cooler.
Yeah, and the forecast is saying, because obviously I'm going on holiday next week.
Of course.
So
Where?
Devon,
Oh, nice.
to drink cider from a lemon.
Very good.
Yeah. So that is obviously when it will start raining.
Yeah, of course. But apparently we're due another heat wave in September.
Just when we get back.
Just when you get...
I said I'm just going to hire myself out to drought areas. I'll just go stand there and it will rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
If only. Looking at you, California.
That's a great thing, actually. That's a great idea. Hire yourself out to...
Thing is, I wouldn't get paid, would I? Because the sod's law would then work in the other opposite direction. Yeah. Okay, I've turned the super chats off. So I think it looks like David Rogel is last in today. We'll just check that as we go. Yeah. Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here. Oh, let's do housekeeping. Have some housekeeping music down.
You can. How are we feeling? Are we feeling joyful? Are we feeling dirgy?
Not too much transient, if that's all right.
Not too much transient.
The compressors don't like it.
Okay.
Build up, nice. Patrons. We have news of the 3 winners of the patron giveaway. As a reminder, we're giving away 3 online pedalboard consultations with, the odd couple. We did a couple recently with winners of golden tokens, and we loved it, so we want to do more. So Matthew from Herefordshire, look out for an email, and I know who you are, Matthew. So hello, Matthew. That's really cool, mate. It'd be nice to see you again. Serkan from Zurich in Switzerland, and Andrew from Melbourne in Australia. So you're one of your neighbours, Dan.
Yes.
Do you know him?
Of course.
Yeah.
Hello. Andy boy.
Ennis. So Matthew from Herefordshire, Serkan from Zurich, and Andrew from Melbourne. We look forward to catching up with you. Now, next 2 weeks, Monday 24th, Monday 31st, I think it is. No live streams. Dan and I are variously not around. So we're 2 weeks off. Going to chill out. I'm going to turn the devices off and chill, baby, which is a good thing. Good. That will conclude tonight's housekeeping. Can I have a major 7th to end?
It angers people
Boodaloo.
when they see the shaking guitar.
What? The comment, I don't know if you guys are aware of this or across this. There is a movement somewhat adjacent to the Flat Earth movement where people think that moving the guitar neck makes no difference, and they get really angry, and there's this like barrage of comments, people getting angry because you're waggling the guitar neck.
So funny.
And I write, can you not hear the vibrato? Can you not hear what it's doing?
This is no movement. This is some movement. And this is a lot of movement.
You just caused a few people to soil their trousers down. You're doing that, and so you'll often see people like I don't know, Tim Lurch. Who else does it? Adam Levy. Everyone.
Chris Buck.
Loads of people do
Yeah.
it, and you either do it for vibrato. I tell you what I do, because the thing it seems to affect most if depending on which way you bend it, is the G string.
Oh.
And I'll quite often if I hit a G chord or an open E or something that's got a major third in it that's a bit kind of grabby.
Oh, you can move it around.
You can literally,
that's great.
because if you push it just flat, it doesn't hurt as much as it being sharp. And it might be that you might change the intonation of your finger pressure as well. But given that, gross generalization here, if your major third is slightly flat, it doesn't hurt as much as if it's slightly sharp. Dan, could you...
Slightly sharp?
Slightly sharp hurts more than slightly flat.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's why. So if you then push the neck forward...
That's really clever.
And an open E chord, you can actually just...
Hi, that's really great.
Start as we mean to go on, eh?
Yeah.
That's why, just as a final bit to that tangent, that's why I flare up a bit when people say, is the guitar perfectly intonated?
No.
Because
we're not perfectly intonated.
I can't play this guitar because it's not perfectly intonated. And it's like, well, you've just made more difference moving the neck and changing your finger pressure than you have in like a millimeter movement here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So...
That's really good. That's really good.
Another thing! No. And that, all right, I promise that this will end now. I think that's why the really in tune players are in tune. Because they're in tune. Are in tune. Yeah, it's got very 100%. Little to do with their guitars. Yep. And to prove that point, the acid test, how many of the brilliantly perfect players play tellies? Ted Green, Tim Lurch.
Oh, loads of them.
Lots and lots of really amazing. Alex Farron. I'm just picking names out of the,
ether.
I.e., potentially the worst intonated guitar, apart from a Junior.
Yeah.
Because of the 3 saddles. Anyway, yep. God. Ugh, sorry. Let's get into the super chats.
I'll learn a new lick.
Come on,
a new lick? Right, it's... You like that?
That's nice.
So it's that bend.
You think it's going to be one thing and then it's another.
Yeah.
That's very nice indeed.
It took me all weekend. I'm sad.
Yeah. It's nice. I like it.
Mm.
Yeah, lots of people saying Jeremy Andon Boys and a few others saying Bill Frisell. Of course.
Life-changing
master of that particular technique. Arthur says Buzz Featon invented a whole system because it bothered him so much. Yeah, and I just never understood it.
Yeah.
Never understood why it was required.
Yeah.
But there you go, people do. Mike Stern, Julian Lage is the person I was thinking of. Lage. You say legato, I say legato. Let's call the whole thing Julian.
Boy. I would love to interview him.
You see what 24 Hours Off does for a man?
That's wonderful. Morning from Byron Bay, Australia, gentlemen. That is live at Minky's. Very good. Good morning, mate.
Minky?
Minky.
5 Grand Ray used to call me Minky.
I was going to stick.
I don't want to know.
Donald and Minky.
He's all right, Minky. Left-handed drummer, builder, whatever you wanted. Like, put a bit of putty in a window or an extension, 5 grand. And I've told this story before. If he had to get on his hands and knees, 10 grand.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So he was 5 Grand Ray.
5 Grand Ray.
Hopefully still is 5 Grand Ray.
Amazing.
Anyway, there we are.
Danny Gatton and Brent Mason says, Eric.
See.
Catalan.
To be fair, I think Brent Mason does have 6 saddles, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Does he? Because that guitar is so modified.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move along. Who is in first this week? Oh, it's Johnny T.
Johnny
Hello,
T,
Johnny.
how you be?
And thank you, Johnny, for your super chats. He says, a Danish Pete OD shootout. Tone City beats Vemuram. Well, all I'm going to say, it doesn't get any better for Vemuram on this week's pedal show. No, it does. By the end, it does. There's your spoiler. But yeah, we were surprised.
Yeah. But when you look at because going into it, the device was something that was like, oh, okay, we've all heard of them, but actually looking into it was like, oh, this is really serious.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, well, yeah. Anyway, I shan't give any more away. Things do unravel a bit towards the end, but it's a good fun show this Friday, and it was a good fun show on Friday where we welcomed our studio guests.
Yeah.
Tonkin winners. And
Well,
had
we
a
liked
lovely
it.
time. Yeah, we liked it. It is summer, Dan.
It's summer.
Yeah, I think everything is a little flat at the moment. In Europe anyway.
Live at Minky's says, Minky's was my COVID speakeasy jazz bar, which became our band's name. Very nice.
Speakeasy. There's a term we don't have.
Yeah, it
every
was
day.
that was Lee Anderton's 50th birthday, was at a speakeasy. It was very cool. We've got a couple of them in Swindon. One looks like a laundromat. It's called the Laundromat. And you go in there, it's got all the washing machines and stuff, and you've got to enter a certain code, and then someone
get in there.
says, what's the password? And if you don't have today's password, the door doesn't open. And then this massive washer dryer opens up and you go into the speakeasy.
Nice.
Very funny.
What's the origin of it? Is it a prohibition thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would have to speak easy to get in, or you could speak easy when you were in there? Oh, I don't know. Let's move on. Michael Giliberto.
Hey,
Hello,
buddy.
Michael. He says, hi, DNM. Hi, DNM, says Michael Giliberto. Friday's volume comments got me thinking. What is the delta between the volume at which the amp comes to life and the volume point where the guitar amp dynamic starts? Former amp specific, and is the latter tied to the room? Yeah, okay, so he's saying we often discuss the fact that in the first instance, no matter what amp it is, whether it's a 5-watt something or a 100-watt something, there's a point where it's kind of happy. And there's a point below which you don't necessarily get much love out of it because it's kind of not operating yet.
I've been thinking a lot about this, actually.
Right.
About some of the... I really want to do a show on the best tone at home thing. And the experience that we have in the studio when we find that point where the amps work. And it's a magical thing, right? Absolutely magical. And it's like, okay, how low can we go with the wattage of an amplifier where we find that point? And at what point is the sound pressure too low to have the interaction?
Well, as per Michael's question, that's one thing. Where does the amp wake up? Number two, we often talk about at a certain point the guitar will start to communicate with the amp and vice versa because the whole thing becomes a vibrational, in the most obvious sense, feedback. But actually, feedback and harmonic coupling happens long before what we think of as squealing harmonic feedback. And so, are the two things linked? And how much does environment make a difference? Well, yeah. I would liken that to a tripod, and all three legs have got to be on the ground.
Very good.
Otherwise, you're not stable and it's not really happening. But I don't know. Let's try and make this analogy even worse. How high is the tripod? How much weight is it carrying? You got all three of those things have to be there. The amp has to be working. The guitar interaction has to be working. And the environment has to be appropriate for those three things. So, yeah, I don't know what the answer is. I tell you what, I've just finished. I haven't quite finished editing it yet, but I have finished shooting my video on the Chase Bliss big time. Just a quick tangent, because it is relevant, Michael. I promise you it's relevant.
So beautiful.
So, I wasted 4 hours in here.
Never wasted.
First of all, trying to send a signal back to the live room, because I want to sit here, talk, manipulate the pedal and have a half decent tone. I didn't want to do it in there. I wanted to do it in here for various reasons. But getting a signal back into the studio and back out here is impossible. It's all high and low impedance changes, so no matter what combination of direct boxes. And I thought, I'll stuff it. I'll just plug into a direct box and do it here for that part and go in there and play loud later. Whereupon I took out numerous devices. and plugged them in.
Okay.
And I'm like, no, this is bad.
Right.
It just sounds wrong to me. Direct devices, analog and digital. And so I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this amp on its 1x12 cab, put it next to where Dan is sitting and mic it at nano volume. And it sounds every bit as good as my 2-Rock in there.
No way.
Really loud. Because, to your question, Michael, appropriate volume, and it was just loud enough for me to... it wasn't really reacting with the guitar at that point because of next door. I can't really do that. But it did sound good and it enabled me to play. When I was using those other devices, I just couldn't play. I couldn't play anything. And then just with that really quiet, super quiet, like...
Conversational.
Talk overable.
Yeah.
Talk overable. But mic'd with a nice little Neumann mic, which is not in here. Our little Neumann mics that look like mini U47s. So a very different kind of mic than you would normally use. Like not a ribbon and not a dynamic, but a condenser mic. So super sensitive because the amp's very quiet and recorded. It sounds...
That's awesome.
Just sounds amazing. But... And here's the sting in the tail, I can't play at that volume.
Right.
So I'm falling over myself, just like the guitar's like... And then you go back in there and it's loud. So, yeah, maybe the fourth part of your tripod is you've got to operate it.
Yeah.
And you've got to be comfortable operating it. And that's very... We see that, back to the show on Friday... You know, we see that with people that come to experience days. We see it with friends. We see it with ourselves. Plenty of people just aren't comfortable playing loud. And there's a number of people that can't play quietly. So it's what you're used to, isn't it? This is great, though. JRT 915 from divided by 13. That's a lot of numbers. It really, really does sound epic. Epic.
So what is it?
2 EL84s and 2 6v6s, and you can use either or.
Oh,
Yeah,
amazing.
really nice. Really does sound good. Obviously, divided by 13 has sent us some stuff to have a play with for a while. The same owners as 2-Rock.
Right.
God, sorry, that was a ridiculous tangent. I hope it was relevant to the question, Michael, and put some light on it. We've definitely got a point in that room where, well, there's too quiet and there's too loud. Too quiet. The room's dead, so if it's too quiet, there's just nothing. You can hear the pick. You can hear the plectrum over the amp really quickly in there as you go down, and then too loud, the room just can't take it. So, Swizz 871 leg ends. Apropos your MXR Boss episode, I would love a similar episode about Guyatone, and Ibanez pedals. I see them on used gear sites all the time, and I think they are overlooked because of their look. Do you know the story with Guyatone? I don't.
My friend had a Tube Overdrive by Guyatone back in the day, and it sounded amazing. I couldn't find one for love and money. Pre-internet. You know, we were communicating via shouting. But they've been around a long time. Yeah. All the pedals I played of them were very cool.
Yeah, I don't know anything about them, but do we know if there's a relationship, like they were made by Hoshino or they were...
Yeah, I don't know. I've never gone deep into it, so I will have a look.
Okay, let's see if we can find some old Guyatone pedals there.
Yeah.
You used to see them a lot. You did used to see them a lot.
Yeah.
But you're right. They don't. You know, when we say we always used to see Boss, we always used to see MXR, we always used to see Ibanez and Arion. Guyatone doesn't flash to mind for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll look into that.
Yeah.
When did I mean, Ibanez are obviously still doing their thing, but I think that's a very interesting story. And also, I'm interested to see new stuff from Ibanez.
Mm.
You know, what's going on? What are we doing? What are we doing? Who they were, what they were doing.
What they were doing. G Barge, G, how are you, buddy? He says,
Hey,
dear
buddy.
mates, could you please discuss the features of amps ideal for live performance versus studio recording? Okay, yeah, we've just been across some of that.
Yeah.
So, what makes them shine in the different applications and how some pedals suit each? Stay cool, brothers. Yeah, I mean, the more I do of both, the more I think they're different sports.
Yeah, I
And
know what you mean.
You know, me and Dan certainly won't be the first people to say that. Anyone who records and plays out a lot will know that.
Yeah, 100%. It's the big thing with playing in a band is headroom and bottom end. Two things to be super aware of. You need headroom, enough headroom to get over the drummer, and you need enough bottom end so it sounds fat, but you probably need less bottom end than you think. When you're at home, having an experience in a similar way that you connect with, because it's only the guitar, you don't need that volume. It's wonderful if you can do it. It's an amazing thing. But not being able to do that shouldn't stop you from playing guitar. So finding an amp that you can turn down and still sounds great. I'm really into master volumes that sound really good. The Matchless Master Volume sounds fantastic.
It is really very good.
Yeah.
Still sounds better with it out though.
Yeah, and they all do.
Yeah.
They all will. Yeah, it's a great question. It's a great question.
Gordon Rankin says, you know, recording amps need to be quiet. I agree. The sort of well, of course, it's music dependent, it's genre dependent, and it's situation dependent. So if you're all playing together while recording in the way that some studio recording happens,
Yeah.
then you need to be loud enough to be heard, obviously. But I've always thought that a little amp with a very sensitive mic can often sound bigger than trying to wrestle a 100-watt amp
100%.
into some sort of... Because you are dealing with the room dynamic, you're dealing with the limitations of the microphone.
Yep. It's interesting though when we're doing Danalogs and I had the Princeton, and which always sounds freaking glorious, and my little AC10, and you know it's a magic combination. But live, when everyone just gives that little bit extra,
Yeah.
it just got to the edge. It's like I can't go any louder than this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, okay, there's a balance to be had. That's a very interesting question. I think we can look deeper into that.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I hope that was some sort of context, G, which is to say, as long as you can manage the noise and your preamps, because, okay, so the next issue is if the amp's very quiet, you might have to gain up your preamp a bit.
Yeah.
If you're using a mic pre, and sometimes that can introduce noise, especially on less zhuzhy audio interfaces, especially like cheap digital audio interfaces, which I know you don't have, but cheap digital audio interfaces are often terrible for noise as you start gaining up mic pre's. So as long as the amp's loud enough and the mic is sensitive enough, I think it's much, much easier to get a decent sound out of a quiet amp than it is out of a loud one, personally speaking. Plexico, Duncan,
Hey,
how are
buddy.
you? He says, this Friday's show was great. Loved seeing a lady present at an experience day. Yes, Lynn, who's Don's wife. Hard to know if Lynn was having a fantastic time, because I think it was really, she's not used to volume, it was really loud for her. So anyway, Catherine lent her industrial ear things, and that helped greatly, I think. Catherine, believe it or not, Catherine hates noise, especially bass frequencies. Makes her really angry. So, yeah.
You have been warned.
So me playing bass in the old pub band was not ideal. Simon V.
Hey,
How are
buddy.
you, Simon? He says, please take one from the chat. We will indeed, Simon. There was one here.
Todd Roy says, when are we going to hear that Fillmore projector amp, guys? Well, it has been on the show. We've got 2 projector amps.
Yeah, this one's been in 3 or 4 shows, I want to say. I'm not sure when the last one was. A few months ago. We got really into using it on the 2 Rock 115 cab.
Such an amazing guitar sound.
With, what did we have with it? I can't remember. Maybe PRS HDRX20 or Deluxe Reverb or something. But it was a lovely pairing, whatever it
It's
was.
sensational.
Really good. Yeah.
And David Tompkins says, have you ever done a 70s only pedal show and 80s or 90s? We've talked about this, doing some decades of stuff. It's a great idea. We'll get into that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I
That's
think it'd
nice.
be great.
That's nice. Greetings, masters of the Toniverse, says Scott Curry.
Hey, buddy.
How do you handle reverb getting deeper and more pronounced when kicking on a boost or overdrive? I've tried expression pedals, but would like something quicker.
Yeah, so a lot of the time, if you've got your amp and it's set up and it's working, and you've got your reverb in it, when the boost isn't activating pure headroom in the amplifier, when it's pushing into the power stage and making the power stage a bit sexier, the extra limitation of that power stage is going to compress or limit, and the reverb gets more reverby because it's limiting. It's compression. This is exactly the same thing happens at the preamp, phase inverter power stage. The only thing that you can do is you either have to ride the reverb level a bit. Lots of reverb pedals have expression pedal inputs, so you can vary the mix on demand. Yeah, and it's one of those things to be aware of when you're kicking in a boost. It is going to it travels down the chain and does stuff,
Yeah, you excite the reverb more. That's what happens. What would pre-delay do? Would that help?
Pre-delay will help in that the power stage is being hit by the transient first. That will help.
No, forget the amp a sec. Just let's say the amp's clean.
No, I'm saying, but because regardless of the amp, having a bit of pre-delay in there, you're not getting the wash straight away, and that's really good. But I've just thought of the other thing. Have the boost at the very end of the signal chain after the reverb is going to give you the best chance. So it's instead of the whole signal going into the reverb and being pushed, because if you're setting your reverb up with your clean signal and it's like, it's set and it's really lovely, and then you're boosting into that, you're giving the reverb more signal, it's going to get more excited. If what you're after is a purely a louder thing, just get a boost and stick it at the very end of the signal chain so that it's taking all of that and then just making it louder. It's gain staging 101, right? That will help. I think the two best things, pre-delay, if you're boosting into it, and put the boost after the reverb.
Assuming your reverb pedal is capable of pre-delay. Now, so I have an additional question about pre-delay. The front, your note is shaped like a triangle, and the biggest transient of the note is the fat edge of the triangle, and then you come down to the point of the triangle in terms of amplitude through the note, right? If you have pre-delay, does that triangle front edge still hit, but just after?
Exactly.
Or does does it miss the front
No.
edge?
So imagine that you're in a space
So you're still going to
and
hear
you
the front
clap your
of the note.
hands, you hear it goes away, you hear the reflection come back, and that's
Yeah.
the pre-delay.
Yeah.
So you're still hearing the transient. And that's a really interesting idea, actually.
'Cause I wonder if
compressing that transient.
Could you gate?
Yeah. You could gate, or you could just limit the input.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Is that what Campandas do?
Not
So
like, sort of, but not really.
the reason I asked the question is, having done this vlog on the Chase Bliss Big Time, it's got a limiter built into it. So the Chase Bliss Big Time is a delay pedal in the middle, preamp at the front, and this limiter section that works in the delay thing. And the harder you hit the limiter, the more compressed or smashed or killed completely
Yeah.
is the delay signal.
Right.
So that would cure. If that sort of thing was available in a reverb pedal, and it must be, so you can compress, you can use the limiter as a compressor.
Yeah.
So the delay signal hits it, and it real squashes it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which used to be, I guess you would have called that a ducking delay years ago, would you?
Yeah.
Or it's a similar effect anyway. So I wonder if anything like that is available in a reverb pedal.
Yeah. I mean, the Campanda essentially originally was to reduce the noise.
Yeah.
So instead of the signal would go in, it would make the delay. They'd make it twice as big in the start of the compression, and then expanding of that circuit. So it would, instead of having the noise floor at a certain thing, the noise floor would stay where it is. The signal would be double with the effect, and then at the end they would squash the effect down, bringing the noise floor down with it.
Okay.
But they have a sound.
Yeah.
Good Campandas have a sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eagle Ray Rob says, I may regret asking this. Does the Chase Bliss Big Times share the wonderful and irresistible sonic magic of the CXM78? Unfortunately, it does.
Don't tell me that.
But it is significantly more work to get your head around. Like, you can plug this CXM78 in, flick through the presets, and just be like, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Big Time takes a little more work, as you will see in the vlog. But yes, and as the vlog goes on, I discover more about the pedal, and I'm like, oh, that's why that's there.
Yeah. Okay.
Still don't have a use for all the crazy stuff, but unfortunately, Rob, yes. It really is good. It really is good. But, you know, with the caveat that I'm pretty sure there are other delay pedals that can match it for some of the features and some of the sonics. And then it comes down to UI, and it comes down to all those other things that I discuss in the vlog. But yeah, it's a very, very interesting pedal. They've gone way, 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 because we were all waiting for it, right? Obviously hoping that they would do a delay version of it, of the automaton. And then when it happened, we were like, oh. And shout out to John at Experimental Audio Experiments.
Yes.
No, what was it?
Experimental audio effects or experimental?
EAE.
Yeah. Experimental audio experiments.
Oh, come on, someone help me out. I'm starting to cook. It's so hot in here. Anyway, shout out to John, and I think a lot of that stuff is a big part down to him.
G-Bar says, damn, I was hoping it was just okay. Yeah, no, mate. It's extraordinary.
Wadey says, Wadey 1960 CS says, I actually used the Mood Mark II for a nice delay before the nuclear reverb. Weirdly enough, I got the Mood out and used it on a bit of incidental. If you listen to the incidental music in the
vlog,
in the show from Friday,
oh yes,
I sat in here and made that. I just fancied doing something semi-creative, and I used the Mood for some stuff in the background. It's really cool.
That's great.
It's such a good pedal, and a good basic delay pedal if that's what you want.
And now there's the dark mood. Or the bad mood. Sorry, bad mood.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, very cool.
Electronic audio experiments.
experiments.
Thank you, Chris, Experimental Chris, and really sorry to EAE for having a bit of brain fart there. Jim Barber says, I cancelled my order on the Big Time. It really needs either a display or a computer editor. Yeah, I think that's down to how you it's down to the individual, isn't it? Like, I love the fact it's got neither of those things. That's why I want to use it, because I know what the controls do, and I know I can edit any of them on the fly, and I'm there literally listening. That's all I want to. Even down to however many milliseconds things are, you can't even see how many milliseconds things are.
Right.
And I love that,
Yeah.
because what I can see is all the controls. So we're all different, aren't we? And I totally get it. I get why that would be annoying to a lot of people. Yeah. But for those of you, the vlog is about, can this thing just do normal delay pedal stuff? And that's about 3/4 of the video.
Nice.
And then I go, oh, it can do that as well. Andrew, hello, Andrew.
Hey, buddy.
He says, I'm listening to last week's VCQ, and one of the questions got me thinking, says Andrew. Is there a difference between getting the sound of a cranked Marshall Plexi and getting the experience of playing a Plexi turned up live? Yes.
Vast.
Yeah.
Different sports.
And of course, the truth is, most humans only know the former. They only know the sound of a cranked Marshall Plexi because you've heard it on everything from, Led Zeppelin to Jimi Hendrix to Van Halen to whatever. Plus all the millions of pounds worth of recording gear that it's gone through.
I was thinking about this today, funnily enough. Thinking about this very thing. You can't explain to someone what it's like playing loud through something like a Plexi. Unless you've done it, you can't explain it, because the sound is only a part of it. I was thinking, what we should do is have like a pedal show day out, and we have like a big barbecue and have 100 people in there, and everyone gets 2 minutes on a Plexi, cranked. You know
London
what I mean?
buses as well, with that pedal show on the front. Cliff lookalikes.
Oh, we should do that.
That would be brilliant.
And
would be
Eunice
brilliant.
Stubbs, was that her name?
Eunice Stubbs.
Yeah, was that? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that'd be really fun,
And the
because
Shadows were all in it, weren't they? Hank was in it.
you don't know if you haven't done it. And it's that thing this has been on my mind lately. It's the sort of thing that
Cue Willie Nelson.
we do it.
Or
It's
Elvis.
the sort of thing that you can learn. You can learn all the notes to play and know what to play. Having an experience with a 100-watt Plexi cranked tells you why you play, shows you why you play.
And you might not
Digs,
like it.
and you might not like it, but
I don't love it.
It connects to something different. When your bones start rattling, you go, oh, and it's hard to play at that volume because you've got to control it differently. Like playing acoustic like this. There's nothing to it. I mean, it's great fun, and I do it every day.
I prefer that to a quiet guitar amp, though.
Yeah, because you're connecting to it in a different way, but and you're hearing it, listening to it differently. But at the point that this becomes 110 dB, then that experience, I'm no longer listening to the subtleties of the note. I'm going bang, and then it becomes about not listening to the notes, but controlling that experience. And that experience is fueled directly by you vibrating along with that note, and then you having something to impart and to say within that experience. And it's like when I hear someone who really knows how to play loud, it's a glorious, glorious thing. I just think it's something that every guitar player should at least experience.
Should try, yeah.
Just try it. And do that thing where you start with the volume off. It's like play a note and then tiny little bit more. Can you? Tiny little bit more. you know, and then just like, oh, that, okay, hear it now. Baz, like, gets to a point, it's like punches you in the face.
Yeah, and you would be entirely forgiven for, and not only forgiven, it would be entirely predictable for anyone to plug into a 100-watt plexi and go, that doesn't sound like a 100-watt plexi.
Yeah.
That sounds absolutely nothing like Led Zeppelin or Jimi Hendrix
Yeah.
or Van Halen. Because back to what we've said so many times, you know, you're not just hearing the amp, you're hearing the microphone and the recording chain and all of that.
Yeah.
They are two different animals, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, Dan, imagine we're in a film,
Okay.
a movie, for those of you in the US, and we're driving along a highway, and something's happened in the movie where we need to go faster. And somebody delivers like an epic one-liner,
Okay.
cut to the gear knob,
Yeah.
shift gear,
Yep.
cut to right foot.
Bang.
That's us now.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
Because we really need to...
Okay.
you know,
Yeah, okay, because
All right.
it's 10 to 6.
yeah.
And we've done like 3. All
And
right.
we've got a lot of so we're gonna pick up the pace a little bit now, people.
Yep.
In a TPS style. Legends, says Jason Hattrick. Legends. I got to play loud with friends recently. It was arc and awesome. Good for you, buddy.
Well done,
But I
mate.
found my overdrive pedals were either too quiet on their own or too loud when stacked. Any tips for this newly freed bedroom player?
All you need to do is spend some time with the rig at that volume because everything interacts differently. It might be that one of the pedals has got a lot of bottom end, so when the amp is turned up, the amp doesn't have enough headroom with that amount of bottom end, so you might need to control that. It might be that one of the pedals has loads of headroom, and when you boost it and the amp is taking it, all you need to do, it's really simple, spend some time with the amp at that level and then work out what's working because it is a different thing.
Yeah.
It's entirely different. It may as well be a different amplifier.
But I would say, Jason, I was having that problem when I was 16 years old. I will have it on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
I will, because the stage is different, the band environment is different, the amp will be at a, one notch different from where it was the last time I played
Yeah.
it, and everything changes.
Everything
so
changes.
the other thing to say is don't sweat it too much. Know that the last pedal in the chain is going to have the biggest effect on your tone. So on its own, if it's not loud enough, you literally bend down and turn it up. If it's too loud, the one on the end, turn it down. And there's so much you can do just using the volume controls of the pedals. You don't have to worry about your amp so much. The last one that is on, make the adjustment there is the advice we would give you. And that takes 2 seconds.
Yep.
Bend down, twist the knob, go.
Yep.
Adrenata. Cheers from the Barmer Beach. Where's
The Barmer Beach?
Where's the Barmer Beach?
Dunno.
Though?
Sounds presidential.
Barmer. Bahama?
Bahama? The Bahama?
Anyway, a Sir Bella is soon joining my 50s and 60s Fenders.
Ah, nice.
Wow. But I still crave something JTM-ish. Would a Tone King Royalist or Kingsley Constable fill the gap, presumably Royalist preamp, without adding another amp? Yes. We haven't heard the Royalist
No.
pre, but we have heard the Imperial and we're super
Oh,
impressed with it.
Brilliant.
And if we line that up with the fact that the Royalist amp is really, really great too. Greg Koch bought a couple of them in when he came last time. I think we borrowed one for a minute. I'm really impressed with that amplifier. So I would say that the Royalist is going to be slightly easier to live with the Kingsley. Kingsley sounds majestic and amazing and brilliant, but like all Simon's stuff is a little more rig dependent and can take a minute to dial in.
Yeah.
I think, and this is just a hunch, I don't know, I think the Royalist might be a little friendlier straight out of the gate compared to the Imperial that we tried. And I don't mean to put the Constable down because it sounds fantastic.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does. Especially when you hear Simon play through it. It's like,
So there we go. Good luck on your
good luck, mate.
JTM journeys and enjoy that Bella. Dr. Mexico says, hey DNM, I'm using a DD200 in wet dry, TPS fattener and slapback settings sound pants but longer delays and mods are great. What am I missing? Says Nath. Oh, Nath. Hey, Nath. How are you, buddy?
So doubler and slapback doesn't sound good.
Make sure you've only got one repeat on your fatteners and slapbacks.
Mm-hmm.
That can be quite a big deal. So on your longer delays, you probably have, many repeats. Make sure for slapbacks and doublers, you've only got one repeat.
And start with those sounds. Start with the effect on 0 and make sure that you're hearing both amps in phase, and then dial that in to your wet amp to taste.
And start with the modulation off.
Oh, 100%.
At least start there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Start with this and add simplicity before you start adding complexity. But we know that the DD200, great analog drive-through, it's a fabulous sounding thing. So you will be able to get those sounds working.
Yeah. Yeah. Go there. Simon V, we've answered the Lyme Regis gig, Wednesday 19th. Band in the Boathouse, 7:30 in Lyme Regis, day after tomorrow. Lyme Regis in Dorset, after the Spitfires. How do you follow Spitfires?
You come out, you turn it up, hang it out there, baby.
Oh, here we go. Chris Costabile. Hey, DNM, you often discuss classic rock, but barely the drug culture associated with it. With so much of it, what are your thoughts? Any hot takes or personal experiences? It's a great question. I mean, I don't know about, certainly psychedelic rock we know all about, but I guess, the classic rock
It was
era.
a weed culture, wasn't it?
No, I think there was a lot of everything, wasn't there?
Okay.
I mean,
Depends how successful you were.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of bands we could name but won't for fear of... Well, actually, we can, because there are documentaries on it, like Aerosmith, Motley Crue.
Oh, yeah. Far out.
Rolling Stones, for God's sake.
Yeah. Rumours. What are they called?
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we joked in Guitar Magazine land as there came a point, I distinctly remember a point happening where, and it might have been at the dawn of social media or thereabouts, where, it wouldn't be unusual to go into a dressing room to do a job and find, rock and roll ephemera of all nature. And then all of a sudden everyone started drinking mineral water and eating lettuce. And that's what people were doing. I think because they'd seen so much of the
They were
excesses
playing lovely.
harm so many people. So many people were into rehab, especially for booze.
It's lettuce.
And I guess, I don't know, many years on the road of hard drinking and taking drugs, it really does wreck people. And I think
There are some people that can handle it. Like,
as long as the quality of the narcotics and booze is
yeah.
good.
But, yeah, I mean, yeah, people that are like, I remember a friend of mine was a driver for when the Stones came out, and he was Matey Boy's driver. Not Ronnie
Keith
Wood.
Richards.
Keith Richards' driver. And this was during Keith's clean period. He said the amount consumed during that man's clean period would kill any normal human. And some people are just better at it than others. A guy that I used to play with a lot in Sydney, that guy could consume alcohol like it was crazy, and you'd never know that he'd been drinking. You'd never know. Yeah. And yeah, I have 2 beers and I am an idiot. Sorry, more of an idiot.
Yeah,
Idiot amplified.
I love drinking. I always have, but I've never got into drugs.
Right.
Never been my thing.
Yeah.
Dan had his crack cocaine days, but he's been ever changed since that. It's never appealed to me, actually. Not even psychedelics. A lot of my mates do psychedelics, and I've never really been into it. So the more interesting question is, did it have an important role in the music? Did it affect the music? Did it help create music that is now some of the most revered musical of all time? What's the link? I rather suspect people have written books and made documentaries on
Yeah.
it.
Well, there was a really great interview with Muddy Waters, who had come out of his drinking days.
Oh, God.
And
the 50s jazz guys.
Oh, I mean, so
Heroin.
heroin, because it slowed things down for them.
Right.
You could play all those bebop changes and it just made sense.
They didn't just like it.
That. But
Yeah.
it definitely had a calming thing where
Oh, wow.
it's very
And also,
interesting.
you know, culturally and in terms of what was known about those drugs.
Yeah,
Certainly,
completely different.
you go back another 50 years and further, and opioids of all kinds were being taken in high society.
Yeah.
Because people didn't know what the longer term effects were. But
Yeah.
that's interesting. There must be university theses, books
Yeah.
about the effect of narcotics.
The Muddy Waters thing was interesting because he'd gone from a period of heavy drinking, and then in an interview he says, I heard myself drunk and I heard myself sober, and it was night and day. And he said, you don't understand, before you go on stage, just one beer, how strong beer actually is and the effect it can have on your playing. Oh, that's really, really interesting.
Yeah, we decided against doing the drinking show, by the way. Yeah,
Do we?
I think we did, didn't we?
Okay.
Every time you say, if I have 2 beers, I'm done.
That'd be
It'd
funny.
be a bloody short show.
That'd be funny.
Yeah. Don't know. And of course, someone mentions James Honeyman Scott here. Yeah, just
Yeah.
one of main Johnny
Yeah,
T.
of course.
One of many, many, many casualties
Taken out by it.
of that whole work.
Yep.
Michael P. Funk says, controversial. Red Hot Chili Peppers music, the drug era was much better than the sober era.
Yeah, but took out the original guitar player.
Yeah, and very nearly the next guitar player.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's move along. Thanks for the question, Chris. Yeah. Dan says, Telly Foreman.
Yes, how can I help?
Can you explain how I can use QMX8 to do wet dry and utilise the effects loop of the wet amp with a radial Big Shot ABY? Love you guys.
So, yes, what you want to do, if you want to use the effects loop of your amplifier and you want to have your wet effects after that effects loop, it's very important that those effects can handle the line level coming from the preamp. Super important. The way you would do that then is you would have your signal go from that. So you have your pre-split effects in whatever loops. Then you would want to have the send from your split loop, the loop where we're going to split wet and dry. The send is going to go into the input of your amplifier. The effects send from the effects loop is going to go into the humdinger. The normal output will go back into the return of the effects loop of the quartermaster. The isolated output will go to the effects loop return of the amplifier or the input of a separate power amp, whichever one you want to be dry. Then any effects after that loop are going to be only in the effects loop because the output of that is going to go back either into the effects loop return of the amplifier or the secondary power amp. So what you need to do, if that's the way you want to do it, you need 2 power amp returns post preamp of the amplifier, and all you need to do is think of the preamp as you would a pedal, but it's a pedal that's going to be on all the time, so you can put it in the same loop as the splitter, right? So choose the loop, effects send into the input of the amplifier, effects send from the amplifier's effects loop goes into the input of the humdinger. One side will go back into, here's what you do. The isolated side will go into your dry amplifier, whether that is the the main amplifier itself or the secondary amplifier, let's call it secondary amplifier, the standard return goes back into the return of the quartermaster. Wet effects post that split, output back into the effects loop return of the amplifier. So preamps on all the time. That loop needs to be on all the time, and then your wet effects will only hit one amp. Your dry effects will hit both.
You might want to bookend this section, get a pen and paper and draw a diagram as he's explaining it. You do need a diagram when you do something like this.
Yeah.
And actually, the more you get into your diagram, the more logical sense it will make.
Yeah.
But what he said about treating the preamp of the amp like a pedal, just think of it as a pedal.
Yep. And it just needs to be on all the time. And then happy days.
Yeah. Combustion engines, I think I need a diagram. Yes. You do. Chris Liddle. Hey, Chris.
Hey,
he
mate.
says, TPS gang, no question, just a small token of appreciation, peace, love, and keeping it ARC.
Thank you, buddy.
Bless you, mate. For anyone who doesn't know, ARC, analog, real, and communal. 'Tis how we endeavour to live.
Yes.
Tian Williams. Hello, Tian. He says, bonsoir, DNM. Well, bonsoir. Now Mick is spending half his time on the bass. I'm not. When are you guys going to start doing bass pedal episodes? After all, this is that pedal show, not that guitar pedal show. Much love from Tian. I stopped playing the bass, Tian. With no disrespect to bass players.
I thought you played bass very well.
I love playing the bass.
Yep.
Really enjoy playing it. I love playing it recording, and I love playing the bass. But after 40 years, pretty much, certainly a strong 35, 38, I'm used to standing at the front
Yeah.
with a guitar, and standing at the back with a bass is just weird
Ah, cool.
for me.
Yeah.
I find it odd.
Mm.
Standing at the front with a bass, I don't mind that. Don't mind that. As long as I can sing, I'm pretty happy. But life is short. There's less of it left than there was. So as much as I like playing bass, I want to give my music time to playing guitar at this point. Given
Yeah.
that it's
I know
the thing
exactly what you mean.
that I've worked harder at.
Yep.
So yeah. But bass pedals, we've done a couple.
We've done them, and they just
flop.
tank. They just tank.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it because there's lots of bass players out
Yeah.
there. But our bass magazine at Future, Bassist, it was never viable.
Yeah.
Just not enough uptake.
No, I know.
So
And there are bass players out there with multi-million people channels.
yeah,
You know,
Scott's Bass
and
Lessons.
there's amazing. And
What's his name?
Flappy
Adam Neely?
Flappy Fat Strings.
No, Adam Neely.
Right, Adam Neely. And yeah, and they do bass pedal stuff. Yeah, we've done it a couple of times and had a bass player, like amazing bass player, and had Dougie in. Oh my god. Just trying to remember his name.
Who?
Bass player.
Paddy?
Deshaun.
Oh,
Who's like, he's played with everyone. He's incredible. And it's like nothing doing. So anyway, yeah.
yeah. Jim Brosen says, is there ego and identification in that? Yeah, there's certainly ego. I mean, I think if you're going to... I've been thinking about this, actually, and I promise to keep this really short. The desire to want to stand at the front and entertain people and play the guitar in a flashy manner. There has to be ego in that, right?
Of course.
And most of the great guitar players we know tend to have a fairly healthy helping of ego.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, in going through a certain personal journey of understanding a bit of that and being aware of one's own ego and how destructive it is the time where I disconnect from guitar the hardest.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how many Buddhist monks stand on stage and sing "Do You Think I'm Sexy" or "Hot Legs," right? Do they? Do they do that? Shit.
Not enough. We need more.
Not that I'm ever going to be a Buddhist monk or want to be.
It's funny.
But yeah, of course there's ego in it. Of course there is.
Yeah.
Why would you do it otherwise?
Yeah.
I mean, you do it because you love it, obviously, but
And the thing is, though, we have discussions a lot between Mick and myself about, ego and presence and all this sort of stuff. And it's life-changing. But there's also acknowledgement that I really like playing loud guitar and standing on a stage and going, "Hey, this is really fun."
yeah.
And it's sort of, okay, if we contain that so it's manageable and that ego doesn't become destructive. If it could ever not be destructive, I don't really know. But if I took all of the ego out of it, the funny thing for me is the most fun that I have with music is rehearsals. I just have the most fun at rehearsals. The performance is great fun, and I love meeting the people, and it's absolutely brilliant. But there are moments during rehearsals where everything just feels lovely, especially because we know our room so well, and we know what it sounds like in there. When you get on a stage that you don't know, and it's like it feels a bit.
I always have the extra gear on stage though, and I don't mean drugs gear. I mean back to our car analogy of shifting gear, which I never ever have in a rehearsal.
Yes, okay.
Never ever. There's always an extra gear that I can hit in a gig if everything is right, that I get nowhere near in any other musical thing.
Right.
And that's what I like about doing gigs.
Yeah, that's cool.
Even if they're shit, even if they're poorly attended, with not very good sound, I can still utterly enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah. And that maybe there's the ego. Curran Kevin says there are good parts of ego. Yeah, it's when you talk about ego, it is implicit that ego is bad. Ego just is. It just is, like everything else. The minute you start judging it and calling it good and bad, you're sort of misunderstanding what it is. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Ooh, get Parry Gadigan on. Parry Gadigan. Barry Cadigan. That's a spoonerism. Says Jay Howilich, I think that is. Oh, God. And Jay, you've been banging Barry's drum, so to speak, for some time now. So we'd love to have Barry on. Little Barry would be fantastic to have him on. Magic wand we do not have, and not everyone wants to come on that pedal show. Okay,
Believe it or not,
yeah,
it's insane. I know.
Open invitation. If anyone knows Barry, if anyone wants to reach out to him, please do. It would be wonderful to have him on. It would be wonderful.
I don't know Barry.
Little Barry.
I don't know Little Barry.
You'll know if you see him. Just played on tons of stuff.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, he's in and around London, loads of sessions. I guess he's been in some name bands as well, but yeah, he just ends up in a lot of very, very cool places.
Oh, cool. Okay.
You'd know him if you saw him.
All right, great.
If you saw him.
Awesome. Derek Clacton says, Dan, is the rehearsal experience so good partly because it's not affected by the adrenaline of a live performance? I think one of the things that comes with experience of doing lots and lots of gigs is that does diminish. Maybe now it's different because I don't do it as regularly as I used to, but it definitely got to a point where gigs were the norm. Back in the day, in the early 2000s, for at least 10 years, I was gigging more than I wasn't. So that adrenaline, yeah, for most of the gigs wasn't there. Beer was there, but adrenaline, not so much. Nowadays, when it's gigs that, because like TPS Band or Danalogs, or it's like, those gigs mean something different. And yeah, adrenaline's there, but still not, I'm not nervous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have that nervous adrenaline.
Yeah, adrenaline's not necessarily nerves, is it? Anyway. Good, right.
but it's definitely a more relaxed experience, rehearsals, where you can, if something isn't right, you can stop. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Hi from Austria, says PG Nash. Hello, PG. I'm about to change my live setup. Instead of a vintage 59 Bassman as the wet amp, I'm thinking of a Royalist or an SV20 to join the other dry amp, which is a Victory V40. Duchess, yeah, I know the SV20 is half the price. What are your thoughts? You'd have to... We don't know the SV20 well enough to really say, but I would... It's really hard, isn't it? Because you've got diminishing marginal returns in any amplifier purchase.
Yeah.
Once you get to something like that Studio Vintage range of Marshalls, Hot Rod Deluxe, once you get to that level, getting much better than that, going significantly beyond that is, an exponential upshift in price. And as great as the Royalist is, maybe having it next to the Victory, the SV20 would do a great job.
Yeah.
And it would do a great job.
Yeah,
it would do a
yeah.
fantastic job. Things that are really cool about the Royalist, the Tone King attenuator is epically good.
It's the best.
As attenuators go.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So if we're going to use an attenuator, we tend to use the Tone King one.
Yeah.
The external one.
Yep. And it's amazing that it's on that amplifier. It's just in the back. It's like,
Yeah.
that's brilliant.
Yeah. If you've got the cash, maybe the Tone King. But I think the Marshall would stand up really, really well. I'm always astounded by Marshalls. It kind of almost doesn't matter. Once you get into tube amps with Marshalls, they all bloody sound like Marshalls.
They have a Marshall thing that they just have and that no other amp has. And all the Marshall clones don't have that Marshall thing.
Yeah,
I don't get
yeah.
it, but it's true.
And it might be that if you get ahead, it's going to be kind of more down to your cabinet choice and speaker choice that will really make it sing.
Yeah. I was at a gig. We were doing the Redback back in the day, and I had my 2-rock Jet. Spent all this money on it, kept blowing up, and anyway, at the end of the first set, it blew up spectacularly. And this is before 2-rock was the 2-rock that we know today, right? Because the amps they make today are just a second to none. But this output transformer kept having issues.
They did have a period of questionable output transformers.
And there's a guy said, I've got a Marshall in the back of the car, Studio 20 thing. It was like not an expensive one. And I said, anything would be helpful at this stage. And I put it on, I turned it up, and I did 2 other sets with that, and it sounded flippin' magic. And the sound guy comes back and goes, yeah, that's really good. I'm like, my amp costs 4 times what that does.
Yeah.
But the Marshall thing is real.
Yeah,
it's a real thing.
It is. So without spending lots of time with the SV20, I wouldn't want to come down on either side, PG, but I don't think you would be sorry if you got the Marshall, put it that way. I don't think there's a huge gap, certainly in a wet-dry rig. Now, if you've got one amp only, there's probably a lot to look at in the Royalist. But as a second amp, yeah. Johnny T. A single pickup show is due on Juniors, Esquires, etc. We agree.
Mm-hmm.
We need to find the guitars. Dan's got one, I've got one. Yeah, get a good Esquire from somewhere. A couple of other things. Firebird, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah, okay. Perfect.
Thank you, Johnny. Palomar Sound. I saw a ton of TPS shirts at the Providence thing on Saturday. I had a blast sharing my builds with some wonderful folks. Not a question, but check out Healy Guitars and Stroma Mutronics.
Awesome.
So where Providence pedal thing, where was that then? In Providence, I guess? Or was it Providence the brand?
Palomar.
Where's Providence? Providence, Ohio?
Providence, Michigan. Providence.
There's probably Providences
Portugal.
everywhere, aren't there?
Yeah.
Providence Bridge Pedal is a celebration of bridges and bicycling, a non-competitive community bike ride over Portland's Willamette River bridges.
Nice.
So it could be that.
Providence, Rhode Island. That was my second one.
Oh, wow.
Power Sound. Yep.
Where Me, Myself and Irene is. Do I keep saying that?
You do.
And did we find out it's not Rhode Island?
You do.
He is from Rhode Island, surely.
Rhode
Good.
Island.
Okay, please check out Healy Guitars then and Stroma Mutrionics. Is that the right word? Mutrionics? Douglas Hernan.
Hey,
Hello,
mate.
Douglas. He said, love Friday's show. Doug the double reverb. My TPS wet dry variation splits with ABY post drives, keeps vibrato, delay and tremolo on the wet side, then sends wet and dry side to stereo reverb, then 2 amps. I've done that with the CXM actually.
It's great. It's a great way to do it. And what I love about that, this idea, you don't have to be so strict about this is only wet and this is only dry, because you can combine them. I've got my timeline at the end of my wet dry rig. It goes stereo into the timeline. And then I've got a choice whether I just have it in one amplifier or I have a ping pong delay. And most of the time, the ping pong, the Andy Timmons way, it sounds very good.
But what's interesting about that is Dan isn't panning it left and right. So when it hits front of house, it's not going to get panned left and right.
No, straight down the middle.
It's more or less straight down the middle, yeah. The engineer might...
My God.
most engineers I can think of would probably be like, they just got to do that.
Yeah.
They have to do that.
Yep.
Just because, and funnily enough, without too many spoilers, not that it really is a spoiler, in the upcoming Chase Bliss Big Time thing, I spend most of the video in mono just to keep it simple. And then at the end, I'm like, let's try stereo. And in the same way, so not panned hard left and right, but coming out stereo of both amps in your acoustic sphere, as it were. And, oh yeah.
It's a fun thing.
Yeah, especially in the trio, right? So the band I'm playing in bass, drums and guitar, I can get away with things being wetter.
Yes.
So exactly as you say, Douglas, doing it that way can be really cool. If you've got the signal routing capability to be able to have parallel and stereo, which you can't, not everything will allow you to do that, but G3 does, and it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's. There are sounds where you want it and it's massive and lush, but then there are sounds where you just want to laser focus and go me.
Yeah.
And it's great to have the thing. I'm really looking forward to seeing your vlog actually.
I think because I've got the wet level on an expression pedal as well.
Yeah.
Like where it can get too much.
Yeah, you can back off.
You can just back it off, and therefore it doesn't really matter that it's coming out of both amps.
And that's the Andy Timmons thing, right? And when I first saw him do it, and it made so much sense. And because we've played on stage with Andy, and the amazing thing is because he plays at volume, and that is where it makes so much sense, because he can make it as wet as he likes, but when he backs off, because he's at volume, it's not lacking anything. He's still got all the punch and everything there. It's just this beautiful wash or halo that blends in on over the top. Magic.
Yeah, it's very nice.
But
Very
and the
nice.
reason, very nice. The reason I say that though is sometimes at lower volume, when we take that off, it feels lacking.
Yeah.
But at volume, it doesn't feel. When you pull it back, it's a different thing. It's more focused, but it's not necessarily lacking.
Well, I was finding just one guitar with bass and drums, I found myself almost at the extent of the delay level. I got it, set it max at 35%, as it were. I don't want it any more than that, really. And I was quite often, like, at the end of that, underneath big rhythm chords and stuff, and thinking, actually, I could do with this a bit wider, which is why I ended up trying it stereo. Yeah, it's really cool. It's
amazing.
Really cool. So yes, Douglas, we get it. That sounds really amazing. Don Varela or Don Varela.
Ella.
God, do you remember that? It was her first single, wasn't it? Hold
It's the
Rihanna.
only one that I remember. Under my Don Varela. Ella.
Oh man, her anti record is so good. Can you please elaborate, says Don Varela, more or demo how you dial in setting by finding the part where there's the biggest change? I've heard it mentioned, but I'm still unsure, says Don from Pensacola in Florida. Hey, Don. Yeah, so we talk about this. Matt Schofield was the first person to say it overtly on TPS, I think, where let's say you're setting your amp up. You'll, assuming you can hear something, so the master volume has to be up if you've got one. You'd sweep every pot to the point of most change. So usually you can sweep, let's take the bass control, for example. Now, obviously, everything's interactive, so it's going to change. Now, it might make sense to have all your other pots in the middle. I don't know. But anyway, you don't want them all on 0 because you won't be able to hear very much. But you take each pot in turn and you sweep them through their entire range, volume permitting. And you'll find that there's 1 or 2 spots where the biggest change in tone happens. So it goes from, no bass at all to some overt bass present, or from bass present to being super flubby. And you usually find there's a couple of points on pots that do that. So that's the theory. Do you ever use that technique, Dan?
Yeah. But what I find interesting is there are often 2 points in the sweep. And I'll do the whole sweep first and then with bass, there's a point where it just turns on, which I love. And then after that, there's a point where it's like, that's way too flubby and that's sort
back
of
from there. And that's what you normally go for?
It depends. If I'm playing live, it's the first option.
Yeah, exactly that.
If I'm in a room having fun, it's flubby, back from there.
Yeah. Where you'll hear it most obviously will be in the treble control, because the treble control on most amps anyway, not all amps, tends to have the biggest effect of the EQs through the gain in terms of through the preamp section, and it will have the biggest effect on however much overdrive you've got. It'll also have the biggest effect on whether the sound sounds kind of pleasant or whether it sounds sharp, and you should be able to hear it there first. Mid controls very often hard to hear depending on where the mid frequency is. But yeah, you can hear it. You can usually hear it. Obviously, the amp's got to be loud enough for you to be able to hear it. So if everything's really quiet, you won't discern the differences. Everything becomes more discernible the louder you get. But yeah, that's how Matt Schofield does it.
Yeah.
For me, it's usually everything is usually 2 o'clock. It just usually is. That seems to be the point of most change on most knobs for me, which is just enough and not too much, with the exception of the bass control, which is pretty much always at 10 o'clock. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Gordon, maybe you've got some thoughts on this, Gordon Rankin. Whether it's simply to do with relative resistance values in pots being like the least amount of whatever.
But it also has to do with the signal that's going into it and the volume that you're playing at, and it will change. Those curves will change everything. Because what would, with my telly, it will be different with your 335. Lots of people asking us to get Tom Bukovac on. I mean, he keeps calling. Maybe we should just relent. We are massive Uncle Larry fans. We love him with the passion of 1,000 suns.
I'm going to stand him next to Joey Landreth as my favourite guitar player.
Yeah.
My 2 favourite guitar players.
There's an album that needs to be made. Have you seen that? Joey was playing...
They'd just be too damn polite to each other, the whole thing. They'd just both be playing as little as possible all the time.
Nah.
I think they would.
I think it'd be great.
Trying to be respectful,
Yeah. Yeah, oh man, he's extraordinary. He's got such good stories. His experience is incredible. He's so musical. Yeah. He's probably the best. He's probably the best guy out there doing it.
So we've got some people who actually know weighing in on the pot thing. Gordon Rankin says, yes, the curves on pots, especially the higher 500k and 1 megs will change the top end. And Simon, hey, Simon Jarrett is on. Nice to hear from you,
awesome.
buddy.
Hey,
Hope you're
buddy.
well. He
Well,
says
I've got a question for you, Simon, actually.
He says it totally depends on the pot tapers and whether designer tried to make the response linear sounding or not.
There you go.
I have to say that the point of most change doesn't really happen on my 2-rock.
Right.
Not in the same way that it does on a deluxe reverb or a plexi or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, on a plexi, who knows what the EQ controls are doing on a plexi? It's almost like, yeah.
The only tone control on a plexi is the volume.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Andreas Johansson says, are we going to mention Blackmore playing with purple again?
Yep.
What?
Yep. He came out. Look, the funniest thing, I wanted to do a little video, but I didn't know how to do it. Richie Blackmore comes out and he stands with Simon McBride, the new guitar player, and he goes, and he's pointing at his pedal board going, what's all this then? And I'm like, I made that. And Richie's going, whoa, look at this. But it was very cool. It was very cool. Yeah, it's great. I asked Simon about it. He said he's just a lovely guy, and there's a picture of Simon and Richie hanging out.
August.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing. Really amazing. First time in 30-something years.
And he is 81 years old.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Wow.
Very, very cool.
Wow. And then Gordon says, plus some are using linear and some are logarithmic pots. Yeah. So I guess, correct me if I'm wrong then, you're going to hear it more on a log pot because not much changes, and then quite a lot changes in a small part of the travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Igor Rob says, Bukovac and Joey did a Duesenberg guitar video together a year or two ago. It was epic. Oh, yes, of course. Oh, amazing.
Okay. Hurry up. Stuart Reeve. Hey, Stuart.
Hey, mate.
Stuart says, hello, Legends. You've both spent an enormous amount of time and money chasing perfect tone, but have you tried many microphones for performing live? No, I haven't.
No. I mean, there's microphones. Whenever I see a sound guy pull them out, I'm always pleased to see them. And if anyone pulls out a 57 and a Royer, I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't
That
happen.
has literally never happened at any of my gigs.
But seriously, 57s.
Just use what you know.
Yeah, exactly. And you should be able to get a great guitar sound with a 57 out the front. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That would be really interesting for me, maybe in a show for one. Just here's a 57. But I don't know, maybe.
What do you mean? What do these microphones sound like?
It's like this is what the sound guy's going to put on your. This is what it sounds like in the room. Do our sound thing, and then say this is the 57. Yeah. And this is what else they might have, and blah blah blah.
Yeah. I think probably annoy many recording people here, but I think making sure that it goes in a good place on the speaker might be more important than what actual mic you choose for a live gig.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the mic matters. Of course it does. But, spending 5 minutes getting it in the sweet spot on the speaker so that it sounds nice out front rather than just... I mean, I've certainly done gigs where the engineer has put it on the speaker and I've moved it and I've been given a sideways glance because I know where it sounds good on the speaker. Or more often than not, you'll say, do you mind if I move the mic? And usually when you ask that question, they say, of course, mate. Yeah, you know where it sounds best. But if you just do it without asking, that's when you get the sideways glance sometimes. But obviously we've listened to loads of microphones in here for recording. And it's like guitars, what's the best guitar? There isn't one. It's what's appropriate for your situation.
Yeah.
For your amp, for your speaker, have you got the time and the balls to spend 5 minutes with the engineer listening to the mic position in a sound check?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that would get really sneered at for that.
Yep.
And so I don't tend to do it. I've done gigs with the bloody mic just draped over the front, not even actually pointing at the speaker, just to get a bit of spread out front. But yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question. Maybe those of you who are engineers, Gordon, I know you do a bunch of front of house work. Maybe you've got some thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like seeing amps with there's a little bit of fluorescent tape on them.
Yeah.
That says put the mic
Please
here.
put it here. Yeah. Because that's very helpful, of course.
Very helpful.
Depending on the mic choice. Yeah, Eagle Ray Rob says, find the sweet spot, then outline that spot with tape. Yeah, it's a really
great.
good shout. We started using E906s, Sennheisers, flat ones. Because they don't stick out so much, and they're harder to trip over, which on a small stage is quite a big thing, and in the studio is quite a big thing. And I really like the 906. So if ever I see a 906, I'm happy.
Yeah,
or a
completely.
57. Yeah.
Groovy.
Oh, bless you, Rosie. Knackered. Simon V. How are you, Simon? He says, no question. I just wanted to say a massive thank you for doing the BE5M show coming this Friday. I was very honoured and humbled you went for that pedal. Thank you, Simon. Simon lent us his Boss BE5M, which Dan and I have put up against modern boutique pedals. Compressor, digital delay, overdrive distortion, and chorus. Mm-hmm. And the results may surprise you.
There's our Instagram clip.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, thanks for the lens, Simon. That's very kind of you, bud. Joshua Schwartz, he says, I've got a QMX question.
Yes, buddy.
When you run a loop, so this links to the question we had before, to an amps effects loop.
Yep.
Can you use the same loop you used to split the QMX for the FX loop pedal, i.e. run the QMX to the amp input, from the FX send back to the pedal to the QMX?
Yeah, why not? It's all you can put. It's just a loop. You can put what you like in that loop. The loop, if you've got something external that makes a sound, you can put it in that loop. Yeah, no problem at all. It's also a really great place for a volume pedal. Back in after the effects send into a volume pedal, back into the loop return. Because then what that gives you, you're not changing your gain structure going into the amplifier, but you are changing the feed of the signal going into your wet effects. Really, really cool way to do it. But yes, absolutely.
There you go. Sugarman Sam, how are you, Sam? Nice to hear from you, buddy. He says, hey dudes, hope you're good. We are.
Hey mate.
Following my visit, can you talk me? Is putting a fuzz on a dirty amp a good idea, and what fuzz would you choose?
It's not a good idea. It's the best idea. It is life. Yes. And what fuzz, man? Oh, look. The fuzz thing is so different because it's so personal. There's not another overdrive out there that's as personal as a fuzz, or another gain stage, I should say, between overdrive and distortion and stuff. Fuzz. I found a fuzz pedal by an Australian manufacturer called DevTech Audio, which is based on sounds from the Dark Side of the Moon album. For me, I don't play anything like that. And it feels like the fuzz I've been looking for my whole life. But I've got amazing fuzzes and vintage fuzzes and new fuzzes, and they're all incredible. But there is a thing with, like, Mick's got his old blue Dunlop. And it's when you hear that thing, it's like, that is the one. And I think it's such a personal thing because they are so responsive to your dynamics, to the guitar, to what it's going into. So yes, dirty amplifiers. The thing with the fuzz is because they've got these very sharp edges on them, with an amplifier that's dirty, that's limiting, and the sharp edges on a fuzz, they just work so well into those amps. You need to be a little bit careful of bottom end. But yeah, find the right fuzz and it'll be glorious.
Yeah. We did a video quite a few years back now called The 4 Pillars of Fuzz, where we talk about tone benders, big muffs, fuzz faces, and octafuzz.
Mm-hmm.
And broadly speaking, but by no means exhaustive, that will walk you through the kind of sounds you can expect from those 4 key types of different fuzz pedal.
Yeah.
And they tend to underpin most. I mean, things have become really mixed and amazing. There's so many things you can get now, but there are others, but it's a really good place to start.
Yeah.
Also, maybe watch, did a show with Marcus Reeves, maybe earlier this year. And Marcus brought in a whole bunch of really cool, unusual fuzzes.
He's in the chat, actually. He
Yeah,
just said,
Marcus.
just watch your bass frequencies. Fuzz can work better with less bass hitting the preamp if your amp can't take it. Yes.
And we went through a whole bunch of different fuzzes and had a good chat around it all. And that could be really worth watching as well. Because you might just hear something that goes, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Marcus says it's also why so many 60s fuzzes has no bottom end in them, as the amp has no headroom. So that's really interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Well, yeah, treble booster, for God's sake.
Yeah. Treble booster, single transistor fuzz.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
no bottom end.
No
into,
bottom end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck, Sam. Good luck, Sam. Derry says, afternoon both. How is Robin's old SG settling in compared to the old SG? Do you think second question, do you think the DGT sounds more like an SG or a Les Paul? I'll answer that question first. Much more like a Les Paul.
Yeah. Yeah. Those guitars are quite different. I'm actually selling the 62, the SG, because to be honest, I'm playing this guitar 90% of the time now. I just can't. I've realised for all the fun I have playing all these other guitars, this guitar still is. If I can do it on this guitar, then that makes me happy. The 2 SG things. I've got my Junior, which I'll never get rid of because that has a very specific thing. It's an amazing guitar. Robin gave me that guitar, which is a 64 special that's been converted to humbuckers. And it's been on a bunch of albums that he plays on. I think most famously there's a live version of the Rose of Sharon where he plays that guitar. And it's like he wanted to say thank you, and he gave that to me. And it's like whenever I play an SG, I'm going to pick it up because that guitar means something different than the other guitar. Arguably, the other guitar it's more of that classic SG theme because it's not a modded special. You know what I mean? It's the standard. Yeah, but it is set. I was playing it all weekend actually, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I put the Maestro vibrola on it because it was set up to have it, but I'm going to go back to just using the wrap over because as much as I love having a vibrola on there, every time I touch it, it just goes so horribly out of tune. Yeah, but it's a wonderful, wonderful thing, and it's something I feel it means a lot more to me than it just being an SG.
Yeah. Yeah. As much as I bang on about not getting attached to things and, all of that, that is really special and it does mean something.
Yeah.
It does mean something.
Oh, it's just, and
I think it means something beyond thinking about the fact that it means something. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not going, hey, Robin Ford gave me this guitar. It actually,
of course,
it means something real to you. That's not a thought. It means something actual and real.
Yeah. No, completely.
I'm sorry,
completely.
That's a confusing thing to say, but
yeah. I mean, it's the manifestation of a relationship with someone who I hold very dear.
Yeah, and that is real.
And that's very real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That transcends ego, I would say.
Yeah.
CompuCorder 64, hard to go wrong with 57s live. Some alternatives: SE Electronic V7X, Audix i5. Actually, Audix, I've seen quite a lot of Audix mics. And Bayer M201s are good as well. Interestingly enough, we have a Bayer M201 which I always use on a snare drum, just because after about 18,000 Google searches, what snare drum mic should I get?
Yeah.
Bayer M201 came out more than any other.
Really?
Yeah, and so I've never tried it on a guitar cab actually. I'll try that, CompuCorder. Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful.
Mike Funk. Hey Mike, how are you? Mike Funk. He says
Mike commented last week because his middle name starts with P.
yeah.
So it's P Funk. And it's the coolest thing. I think it's the coolest thing I've ever heard. That your actual name is Mike P Funk. Just great.
Want the bomb, I want the P-Funk.
So good.
Hi DNM from San Luis Obispo, California. I returned recently from Japan, watched your Tokyo vlog. Is this 50 times? Or on 50 times speed, hopefully. No holy grail like Dan's DSD2, but I got a great deal on the Japanese KGR Harmony Arare Overdrive.
Oh, nice.
No question, please say from chat. Man, that was a good trip. It was Dan's birthday, and we stayed out drinking
All night.
all night.
We
It was
Mick, myself, and Rabia ended up in a metal club in the middle of Tokyo.
oh god, yeah.
We found a Danish Pete lookalike in a karaoke bar.
Yeah, Japanese Danish beat.
Honestly,
Then we went to that weird bar and we played loads of songs. There was guitars on the walls.
that might be the most fun night I've ever had.
It's getting on for it, for sure.
Yeah, I'll never
Yeah.
ever forget it. It was
Thanks
amazing.
to Matt from Boss and actually Shingo from Vemira.
Oh man,
who,
yes, of course.
who may have facilitated somewhat.
Yeah.
I want... sorry.
Sorry, no, it's a couple of questions. Is that right?
Yeah.
Johnny T says. Did this-
Yes-ish.
Johnny T said. Also, was there more from that question?
No, that's
Okay.
it.
Johnny T says, did the 62 have a neck break, Dan? No, it didn't have a neck break. Back before they moved the tangs in the neck, what used to happen with those early 60Ts is they would crack at the heel. So a lot of those guitars have a dowel put in them just to solid that thing up. It's never broken. It was just a crack. The headstock's never been cracked. Or broken. So yeah, that's about the 62. And there was one other question here that was, you guys should do, no, not that one. It says, hey Dan, this is from Mason at Midnight. Hey Dan, if I'm running a wet dry rig, Tweed Deluxe dry and a Fender Princeton wet, what volume would you set each amp for? What I would do, you set them the same. You set them so that they are the same level, because what you're getting is not just dry effects and wet effects. What you're getting is the joy of these two amplifiers mixing and creating harmonics together. It's the most wonderful thing. And then on the pedals themselves, then you control the amount of effect in the pedal. So it's not about controlling the amount of wet in the amplifier. It's about controlling the amount of effect in the pedal so that you're getting the wet effects just from one side, but the amps are working together to create this sound. It's a very, very special thing.
Nice. Johnny T again. He says, I want you guys to each mod an Electra circuit. I don't know what that means. Electra circuit? What's that?
I do not know.
Is it a type of fuzz or something? Electra distortion.
Okay.
A legendary, highly influential single transistor guitar distortion and boost design. How have we never heard of it? Originally introduced in 1976 as the MPC boost amp module for Electra guitars.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
That'd be fun.
I'm going to screen grab that, Johnny, so that it can act as an aide-memoire as I slowly mould into Guy, what's his name from Priscilla in Memento?
Not Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Yeah, but Memento.
Memento?
Yeah, it's the same guy, wasn't it? And his name is Guy.
Yes,
Is
Guy
his name
Pearce. Guy
Yeah.
Pearce.
And
Yeah.
was he in Neighbours?
He was in Neighbours.
Or Home and Away?
Yeah, he was in Neighbours.
Neighbours and Away. Yeah.
Yeah, he was brilliant. He was brilliant.
40 Watt Podcast. How are you?
Hey, mate.
He says, I find myself constantly challenged by wanting to explore new tones and then reverting back to my simpler rigs when there's even the mildest of resistance. How do I push through the discomfort?
Oh, what a great question.
Context.
Context is everything.
What are you doing? Like when I sit here, I had really good fun. I had 2 hours, I think it was, maybe 2.5 hours to do those two incidental backing tracks that were all over last week's video. And there, some of them, it's using a mixture of Apple loops that I'll augment in a certain way, making a drum track from whatever Logic's offering me. Again, I never use anything straight off. I always change it a bit. And then playing bass and guitar over top. And for that, I'm not like, I must use my Strat or I have to use a Tube Screamer for this or my 2-Rock. I mean, they are Logic's built-in guitar amp simulator with Logic's pedals. And I don't even... It was that... was it that guitar? That guitar.
Right.
And I've not... Absolutely no desire to go for tonal nirvana doing stuff like that. But Wednesday night's gig is a very different situation. I need to play stuff I know. Per your question, simpler rigs when there's even the mildest resistance. And the resistance in this is I cannot be thinking about it. I got to remember lyrics. Some of the stuff's challenging to sing, not feeling massively vocally strong at the moment.
Yeah.
And so I just need the guitar to be stuff that I can just really lean on, stuff that I know. So for what it's worth, from a personal perspective, it's about context. What's riding on it? How much does it matter that you're in a sort of flow state? Sat here at the computer, I can be in a flow state with totally alien gear.
Wow, that's
Mood.
great. Yeah. That's very cool.
And accept whatever comes out. And funnily enough, often the results of what come out of that situation are much better than when I'm actually thinking about it. But do I want to be playing a guitar I'm unfamiliar with? Pedals that I don't really understand and an amp that I don't really understand on stage? No way.
Yeah. Because there's too much other stuff going on.
Yeah.
And when you're performing like that, a different part of your brain switches on. And when you've got to then suddenly think about something that you're not 100% familiar with, you do go into a different state. The other thing is when you've got gear that you don't really know inside and out, and questions pop up about that gear when you're playing that you don't immediately know the answer to, is the first thing that's going to break you out of that thing. What I like to do, if there's a bit of gear that I'm playing that's really caught my attention and caught my ear, and I really dig it, I will get to know it inside and out. And often that only takes a couple of hours, a couple of very focused, present hours. And that might even be with a fuzz, with a 2-knob fuzz, because it might be that this is wonderful. I need to work out how this reacts with my amplifiers at volume.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of messing aboutery. But once you know that pedal inside and out, and it almost becomes instinctive as to, fuzz sounds amazing if I just back off, turn it all the way up and then back them both off a little bit, or you know where the sweet spots are without thinking about it too much. That state that you're in, that you get pulled out of and want to go back to the gear that you know, is not as prevalent. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, actually. It's important for me to know about a bit of gear inside and out so that I know when not to use it.
Yeah.
You know, I love my auto BIM 12-bit delay. It's the most extraordinary sounding delay. But there are things in it that are tricky. And so when I need a board that's we're going to gig or whatever, timeline. I know when I'm going to use the BIM, especially recording and stuff, and there are sounds like it's just magical. But it doesn't do everything that I needed to do at a gig. And because I know the timeline so well, a timeline doesn't sound as good as the BIM, but it sounds great.
And the UI is more important in a live situation.
100%.
For a 3% difference in
exactly.
how much you love the tone.
Exactly. And I love the sound of the timeline. It's amazing. Yeah. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. Now then. Ed Reba keeps telling us that San Luis Obispo has an S. It's not San Luis Obispo because it's Spanish derived, not French. San Luis Obispo.
I was going to ask.
I mean, it's interesting that, isn't it? Because if you think about other Spanish city names or Spanish language city names such as San Francisco, Los Angeles, San
Diego.
They've all
was
become
lost many years ago.
They've all become anglicised, Americanized in pronunciation, haven't they? No one says, I don't know what the correct
Saint Diego.
Would it be Los Angeles, maybe something like that? Apologies to all you Spanish speakers out there, but yeah, language changes, man. It does, and that's not to be disrespectful to anybody. We don't all talk like Shakespeare anymore.
I do wonder, right? I this is how my brain works. You know, when you go, I do wonder if this is early language that we've kept because it's so instantly accessible.
Oh, I see.
Go, and laughter and this stuff.
Well, laughter got to be, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's so many just guttural sounds that we make that we instantly know what people mean. You go,
Well, it would be interesting to test that culturally, because if you go to France and you hear somebody saying boff, you're like, what the hell are they going on about?
Yeah, but that's a word.
But boff is in French.
Okay.
Or it's a type of
But surely in France you can go, you wouldn't go,
you can.
boff.
Well, you would be amazed how boff gets used. Somebody French, please help me out with how boff gets used. But I've been chatting with people and they've gone, boff.
Is that like Malacca and?
No, it's like don't know.
Is it le boff?
No. And I would suspect you would find that in languages in all over the place. It is fascinating, isn't it? Right, let's take however many languages there are in the world. That is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is,
Yes.
and you use it to drink things out of.
Correct.
But in 1,000 languages that we could mention, it has a different bloody word for it. So the word is nothing, is it? The word is something you just attach meaning to.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, that was a bit transcendental, wasn't it? John Pardo says, does anyone remember laughter? I don't
Very
know.
good.
I don't know. Simon VRDJ says Frank Boff. Oh, Frank Boff's a remarkable fall from grace. Oh, if you don't know who Frank Boff was, don't Google it.
Boy.
Yeah. John Pardo, does anyone remember laughter? I'm having a bit of a laughter at the moment. I have to say, watching our new Prime Minister decide to move everything to the north, I am finding that quite funny. Thanks for everything, guys, says TJ Nilsson. Thanks for everything. Question, what is your best recommendation for setting stage volume and lead volume? I usually get looks when setting my volume, but end up still too quiet. Yeah, don't do it while no one else is playing.
Don't, especially, do it with the drummer.
Yeah.
Do it with the drummer. Checking guitar on its own should be no more than a line check.
Yeah.
100%. If you go, well, no, sound guys go, I need to hear the guitar. Get the drummer to start playing.
Yeah.
Do it in context, because 100%, first thing sound guy's going to do is tell you to turn down. And then you got to start playing, and the drummer's going to be freaking wildly loud. He's going to push the vocals to be over a wildly loud drummer. You're going to start playing. You're not going to hear yourself. People, make sure you can hear yourself, and make sure that you're loud enough when you do a solo that it's the same level as the singer singing. Please, please, for the love of all that is sparkly and shiny, please.
There's very different approaches to this, because I think for good reason, a lot of people down the years and sound engineers have asked for this in different environments where they don't want the sounds to be any different in level. And sometimes people approach pedals that way. They're like, when I step on my gain pedal, I want it to be this. I want it to be unity volume, so it's always the same volume. Then the engineer knows what to do. Great, if that's how you do it. The other school of thought is Dan and I will play with a vast difference in volume available at our feet. Oh, we've lost video.
Oh, have we?
Keep talking.
Okay. Yes. Vast difference in volume. Dynamics. Sexual chocolate. It's what we call it. How we go? Yeah. What, that's weird. Here's a chord. Yeah, wow.
Why. Both batteries in both cameras have been exhausted
Oh no.
because they're not bloody turned on. The people are still listening though. Dan,
Oh,
just
okay.
so you
People
know.
are still listening, so that's great. So yes, when we're talking about the vast difference, what will happen is, because we're used to playing loud. That's not we're allowed to say that. We're used to playing loud, so we're used to the dynamics. We're used to the dynamics of playing at level, and it means that you're not overcompensating for lack of headroom by hitting things too hard. So you develop dynamics with your right hand, and your right hand is the engine. And if you've got headroom and a place for it to go, that's when you can really utilize that dynamics. And that's where all of the expression is. It's all there. So I remember when I did the rig for Dave Kilmister when he's doing The Wall, and I did a couple of rigs over his various tours, and he would have his Brunetti amps on stage with him, and honestly, his guitar sound when he was playing with Roger Waters was absolutely mind-blowing. So beautiful. Such a talented dude. And for the last tour, I remember I was talking to him, how's it going? He goes, he says, we've had to go to a silent stage. So I've got a couple of ISO cabs underneath the stage. I said, what's that been like? He says, the first rehearsal, I looked down and my right hand there's blood everywhere. And I'm like, what happened? He says, because I wasn't with my amplifiers and because I didn't feel the dynamics, I was just hitting as hard as I could, trying to get anything going. And that's the thing, because that dynamic thing, it's such a physical experience that it does come out in how hard you're hitting things. Oh, well done. Mick saves the day.
Sorry, it was entirely my fault. The power block that powers the camera was turned off. So the batteries ran out. I was going to have to charge them before we film tomorrow, Dan.
Yes. But that basically, it's that thing of, when you, with loud amplifiers, you play differently because you've got that different level of dynamics that you can operate. And it's such a discipline, but it accesses a whole different area of emotive playing.
Yeah. For me, the variance in volume is about being able to get under the singer.
Yeah.
Not being able to get loud enough for solos. Being loud enough for solos, you just have to be. But people might be surprised at how quietly we come down to get underneath the vocal and to get out of the way. And for me, that's what it's about. So, and you know, it's not the right way to do it, but it's certainly the way I've grown up doing it, because most of the gigs I play are self-managed in terms of sound, whether there is a decent PA or not.
Yeah.
So, and I just want that. Right, Dan, 2 more to go.
Okay.
We need to skip through these without skipping any quality in the
Okay.
answer. The Rodrigo. Hello, Rodrigo. Rodrigo. Got there in the end.
We've kept most people on through the blackout. So thank you all for sticking with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you. And sorry for, anyway. The Rodrigo
Yes.
says, love the show, guys. A potentially controversial question. Do you have a favourite genre or artist that is non-guitar focused? So we're going to assume you're talking music, Rodrigo.
Well, I've got 2, and they're a lot less similar than people think. Billy Joel, just love his songwriting, and also Ben Folds 5, both piano people. Ben Folds 5 just...
Echo Dan in Ben Folds. Songs for Silverman is
just wow.
epic.
Yep. What
record.
a talented dude.
I like a lot of singer-songwriters who play guitar but isn't necessarily guitar focused, but they do play guitar, so we'll ignore them. I'm going to say Erykah Badu.
Oh,
One album I listen to most weeks is a live record from early 90s.
wow. Amazing.
Just fantastic.
Yeah. Very
Fantastic.
cool.
And actually D'Angelo I'll add into that.
Yeah.
Who actually was a pretty decent guitar player. But I listen to D'Angelo a lot as well.
Yeah.
So that kind of soul, neo soul or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Music I'm big into and like a great deal.
Yeah. And I've also, like Joni Mitchell, but she does play a lot of guitar.
Yeah, you got
But Tori Amos.
Tori Amos. I thought you didn't like Tori Amos.
No, that Cornflake Girl,
Yeah.
loved that. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. No, I think she's amazing.
Little Earthquakes and Under the Pink, too, just brilliant. There's a lot of good guitar playing on,
Yeah.
certainly on Under the Pink.
Yeah. No, I thought she's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
But man, there's so many. Like Thundercat, he's a genius, but I don't listen to a lot of his stuff. But whenever I hear him, I'm going,
His last record is so good.
It blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. And of course, Wuthering Heights.
Kate Bush.
There's so many of them. But yeah, the piano thing, like Billy Joel for me is like a very, very important artist, and Ben Folds 5 would be my top 2.
Simon V says R.I.P. D'Angelo. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
he
of
died.
course.
He died young. Depeche Mode, DMK is saying DMK 75. A few people talking about classical music. Obviously. Tom Waits, thank you very much. Matthias Citalo. Yes, Tom Waits, great shout. Really great shout. There's a record of his called Alice. I don't know if you have it. Is my favourite of Tom Waits's records. But then, usually got Mark Rebo, or often got Mark Rebo playing amazing guitar in it. So I don't know. Anyway, onwards. Thank you for that very thoughtful question and getting us out of our guitar brains for a second. Last up today, and I will just check that you are last up today, David. Is David Rogel. And David says, hello, good folks. What would you recommend for a low gain overdrive with the least compression, least sponginess, and most dynamic range and most texture when digging in? You have just described the Klon Centaur.
You have just described that. And I was going to also say the Timmy.
Yeah.
But, yeah. The Klon.
Yeah. And to be fair, there are a lot of overdrive pedals that will do what you're talking as long as you set the gain low and the output high. A lot of overdrive pedals, like Guerrilla Lightspeed we often talk about. King of Tone will do all of that.
Yep. Oh, the full drive.
Yeah,
Full drive at 18 volts.
in the comp cut.
Yep.
mode.
Comp mode. Oh, that's. Yeah.
So
I've got my old full drive in there.
yeah, what you might be. Oh, sorry. What you might be. So with the pedals that you've got, David, try that. Try turning the gain down. Try and turn the level up significantly. Lean on that tone control a little bit, and because what can happen is if you start pushing the overdrive too much, that's where the majority of the clipping happens.
Yeah.
Something, not on all overdrive pedals, but on a good many overdrive pedals, something very interesting happens when you put the volume up. Maybe it's to do with output impedance.
Well, the output impedance in a lot of overdrive pedals is dictated by the master volume.
Yes, so it has a it's
Yeah.
it's very easy to assume whether on an amplifier or a pedal the volume just changes the volume. It really changes the tone as well. So do try. It's quite often when you see mine and Dan's overdrive pedals, you'll often see the volumes crank round quite a way, and then the next question is, well, it's too loud. Well, yeah, you've got to find a way of balancing that. I tend to run my ODs
Yeah.
round there because
Yeah.
that's, to me, that's where it's happening. So try that, but you pretty much have described the clon and what the clon does really exceptionally well. It will overdrive really nicely. It is a great overdrive pedal as an overdrive. But between its clean boost function, because it's got gobs of headroom, so you can turn the output up and the gain right down low, between there and the overdrive is a vast array of nice textures.
Yep.
And obviously we're not suggesting you go out and blow $5,000 on a clon. There's many
Well, he's not suggesting that.
many good options. Where are you in America? If I was in the UK, I would probably buy the Origin FX Halcyon Gold,
Oh.
because it has a couple of other interesting features as well. But as you're in the US, check out the Wampler Tumnus Deluxe. Really,
Yep.
really good take on that. And obviously there's a million other overdrive pedals, but yes, there we are. Thank you everyone for being with us. This Friday shall be 1991 Boss Multi-Effects versus modern boutique pedals? Surely not.
Unreal.
Very interesting.
The results may surprise you.
Quick one from you. Theo Farnham says, have you tried the Acclam Dr. Robert?
Yes, we have. It's great.
I've got the V1 and I'm trying to figure out how to use it. Yes, it's been on That Pedal Show. If you go into our database at thatpedalshow.com, you can search all the pedals that have been on the show and it will tell you which episode it's been in. We liked it. We liked
Very,
it.
very cool.
Yeah. Good.
Clan makes some really cool stuff.
Good. John Pardo says, what will the following week, given you won't be here? It will probably be a 4 pedals episode, which features 2 MXR pedals, including the Joshua ambient delay and a super badass dynamic overdrive.
That's so good.
And there's 2 other things that are really cool that I can't quite bring to mind right now. Oh, the Tuna Can Fuzz Third Man Records version,
Unreal.
which was really good. And something else. Anyway, good. All right. Thanks for being with us, everyone. We appreciate your patronage, but not your patronising. It's a joke. It's a joke. Not a very funny one. And yeah, we won't be back after these messages. Dan, play something harmonically interesting.